Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this new video. In this video we're going to take a look at my complete collection of Magic the Gathering. We've got more than 4,000 cards in my collection. All the cards have been put away in these 5 different binders. It took me a lot of time to sort out all the cards. It made me go a little bit insane, a little bit crazy, because I wasn't in the least prepared for this huge task. I didn't know what I was getting into. We've got so many cards here, too many cards. And it was a bit of a nightmare, okay, to find a way to sort out all these cards and put them away into these 5 binders. Most of the cards you're going to see today, I purchased them from Cardmarket, which in my opinion is the best place online where to buy your favorite cards for your favorite trading card game. I also made a long series of videos dedicated to the unboxing of all those cards that you can find also on my channel. That series of videos is called the Ultimate MTG Unboxing Experience, and I strongly invite you to watch at least the introduction and the prologue videos, because there I talk a lot about this collection. I tell you about how much I spent to purchase all these cards. I tell you about the different sellers. I tell you about my favorite cards. I also give you some information about my personal story as a duelist, how I got into the game in the first place, for example. So if you want to know the whole story, go and watch those 2 videos. I'm also going to place a couple of links here on screen that you can click on to watch those videos, okay? In this video, we are going to dive right into this collection. I'm going to place the camera up above here on my table, and I'll be able to show you the cards as I open the binders and flip through the pages, okay? Alright, now let's dive right in. Let's get right into this collection. Let's start digging into my collection of Magic the Gathering. So here we got the white binder. This binder contains the bulk of my collection. Almost all of my powerful creature spells are in this big white binder. It's really huge, it's massive. Let's take a look at these creatures. So here on the first page we've got worms. These are very nice green worm creatures. We got more on the second page. And here instead we got spiders. Arasta of the Endless Web right there from Theros Beyond Death, very cool card. We got more spiders on these 2 pages. You see, I just wanted to put all the creatures of the same type together on the same page or on the same pages. Like here we got all the spiders that I have in my collection are here on these 3 pages. Then here, for example, we got all my Hydra creatures, all the Hydra spells on this page. Here we got Polukranos Unchained, one of my favorite cards in the game. This page is special. It's different from the other pages that you're going to see in this collection. Here I just wanted to place together the cards that I've got that have been illustrated by a guy called Wayne Reynolds. He's one of my favorite artists in the game. I really like the illustrations that he makes for this game, and I just wanted to have here the best cards that he has made, that he has illustrated for Magic the Gathering, so that every time I flip through the pages of this binder, I can always take a look here at these beautiful spells. Okay, now moving on here, we got elemental creatures. More elementals here on these 2 pages, mostly red elementals. Then here we got a bunch of other spells. Here I left some empty slots, you see here, because here I'm going to place the creature tokens that correspond to the cards that have been placed right next to this empty slot. Like here, for example, we got Seize the Storm. This is a very powerful sorcery spell that creates a red elemental creature token. Once I have that token, I'm going to place it here. I'm going to fill up this empty slot with that token. And I'm going to do the same also here for this card. This is Pilaf Ward Sculptor. We all know the effect of that card. And this is Hoofprints of the Stag. So once I've got those creature tokens, I'm just going to place them here right next to these cards. Then here we got a bunch of blue spells. More blue spells here on these 2 pages. These are mainly merfolk creatures. And we got more merfolk creatures here on these other 2 pages. Up here we got 2 very nice commanders. This is Cadena and Sidisi. 2 very powerful spells. Here we got a bunch of Vedalken creatures, and on this other page we got Trifolks. Okay. Down here we got Trostani Selesnia's Voice. This card is really nice. It's a very nice commander. Remember, this card was also pretty expensive to purchase. Here we got Fungus and Plants. Alright, Ooze Creatures and Slivers. Then here we got Rhinos and Boars. Up here we got Geared Conclave Exile, very nice commander. Alright, Then here we got more boars and bears. You see here I left some empty slots because I didn't want to merge these two types together. I didn't want to merge bears with boars, so I kept them separate and I left these empty slots. Hopefully in the future I'm going to fill up these spaces here with more boars. I'm certainly going to buy more cards in the future for Magic the Gathering. You know, this game keeps expanding. Every 3 months there's a new expansion that comes out, and you know, that's insane. That's really insane. So, you know, in the future I'm certainly going to purchase more cards, and I think I'm going to have more boards here to place here to fill up these empty slots here. Here we got bears. This is Ayula Queen Among Bears, a very nice card, illustrated by Jesper Eisen. He's another very talented artist. He also illustrated this card here. This is Rune Claw Bear. These two cards were made by the same guy. Jesper Eisen is a very nice illustrator, so he's very talented. He makes some very nice illustrations for this game that I really like. Here we got Apes and Crocos. Then here a bunch of sea creatures. On this page we got some very powerful spells, most of which are mythic. We got Rexiel right here, Lorthos. Down here we got Simic. Up there we got Charix, Raging Isle. These cards are absolutely dope. Really powerful, really cool. Then here, more sea creatures, avatar creatures on this page. Here we got Ugak, Arisen Necropolis, and Soul of Innistrad. Two pretty costly cards to buy, but these two cards are absolutely amazing. This card up here, Ugak especially, it's a very nice card. The very stunning artwork. Here we got Lizards and Beast. Check out Crackplate Baloth from Zendikar right there. Very nice card. It's also pretty powerful. Here we got more beasts. Okay, then moving on here we got other forest creatures, centaurs, antelopes, and elks. Alright, let's move on. Elves. Okay, so here we got a pretty substantial collection of elves. Here we got first 2 pages, then we got more here on these other 2 pages. So we got a total of 6 pages full of elves. I really like this card up here, Guild Leaf Winnower, if I'm not mistaken, yes. And this card is absolutely amazing. Very cool card with a very nice artwork. This card, every time I look at it, I just think of Avatar the movie, because the pose there, it's pretty energetic. That's a very nice hunting scene. You get quite a lot of those action scenes in the movie Avatar. And every time I look at that card, I just think of the second movie for the saga, for the Avatar saga. When that movie is going to come out, I don't know. I have no clue. It's been ages, that they've been working on that movie, and the movie hasn't come out yet in theaters, and that's absolutely incredible. Then here we got a bunch of spiders and a very nice commander. This is a Patra, Vizier of Poisons. Here you see I just have 4 planeswalkers. These are just all the planeswalkers that I've got in my collection. I'm not a huge fan of planeswalkers. I think they're a bit too powerful, and I think they ruin the game, okay, to a certain extent. But at times I like to play them, anyway. So these are the only 4 planeswalkers that I decided to purchase for my collection. This is Jaya Ballard, a very cool card. Maybe in the future I'm going to change my opinion, I don't know, but right now I'm not really keen on playing planeswalkers. Here we got insects. Okay, these 2 pages are pretty special. Here we got frogs on the left and squirrels on the right. Check out all these nice foil squirrel tokens. See them, pretty cool. Right there in the middle we got Earl of Squirrels, very cool card. And here on the left we got Jade Avenger, 3 copies of this card. This is a frog samurai. This frog is springing from its pond, wielding 2 swords. It's a samurai. It seems that this creature just comes from the animated series of Naruto, right? Where we got lots of frog samurais. This is a pretty cool card. You see, I bought 3 copies. I really like this card here. Then here we come to our beloved goblins, and I purchased almost all the goblins that you can find out there. I got a ton of goblins in this binder. I think I got 13 pages that are just taken by goblins. Let me show you here all these beautiful goblins. Let me just point out this card here. This is Goblin Guide, the most expensive card that I've got in my collection. I bought this card for €3. That's a lot. You see here we got more goblins. I love all of them. I like all of these cards. They're super cool. This is Tuk Tuk the Explorer, about 3 copies here, and also V token. This is Tuk Tuk the Return. When this creature dies, you get to summon this creature, with which is a legendary token artifact creature with 5 power, 5 toughness. That's quite incredible for a goblin deck. Alright, oops, sorry. Then here we got more goblin spells. More goblins on these other 2 pages. More goblins here. This is Grenzo Dungeon Warden, a very nice goblin creature. Very cool card. And then here on this final page we just have a bunch of spells like instants, sorceries, enchantments that you may want to use in a goblin deck. And I added them here at the end of this collection. Here we got devil creatures. Check out this card here, Burn Down the House, from one of the most recent expansions of Magic the Gathering. This card is really cool. The artwork is just amazing. Really like this card here. Alright, then here we got a bunch of the Ashino Warriors, Jackal creatures, and Skeletons. These cards are all pretty cool. Really like them. Then here we got Slugs and Rats. Alright. My favorite card in the game is this card here, Piper of the Swarm from Throne of Eldraine. This card is absolutely amazing. It's my favorite card. The artwork is incredible. This card was also illustrated by Jesper Eisen, the same guy that I mentioned before. Here we got the token, this beautiful foil rat creature token that is related to this card. The effect of this card: summon a bunch of these rats and then sacrifice them to pretty much take control of a creature controlled by the opponent. It's probably not the best creature, like the most powerful one, but I just really like the art here for this card, and I also really like the effect. I hope in the future I'll be able to make a nice deck and do justice to this card, which is my favorite card in the game, okay? Then here we got Pegasus creatures and werewolves. I got a pretty nice collection of werewolf creatures. Werewolves take up a lot of space in the binder. You see, these cards are often double-sided, and they're pretty cool because they're double-sided. They're really cool. On the front side, you got the human werewolf, and on the back side, you got the real werewolf, and that's pretty cool. But you see, if you got a lot of these werewolves, that means that you need to spend many pages here and just use those plastic pages just for the werewolves, because one slot is taken up by just one single card. Just like here for these 2 pages here that are filled up by just werewolves. And then here we got more werewolf creatures. I left these empty slots here because I'm going to fill them up with more werewolves that I'm going to purchase from Crimson Vow Midnight Hunt. Many werewolf creatures and many cool werewolves have come out from these 2 expansions, and I certainly want to get my hands on those cards as well. I'm going to place them here. So I've already reserved some room for those cards here in this binder. Then here we got Cats, Jazel Goldmane right there in the middle. Very cool spell. We got more cats and elephants on these 2 pages. Alright, then Minotaurs. More Minotaurs and Trolls. Ogres. Alright, Giants. Check out Realm Cloak Giant down here. This is a very powerful spell. I played it a lot when this card was still available in Standard on the Arena. Now, unfortunately, the Throne of Eldraine, the set for that card, has rotated out of Standard, so I cannot play that card in Standard anymore. But I'm going to be able to do that here tabletop with my friends with these cards. Alright, then here we got a bunch of other creatures, Griffins. Then here we got Sphinx creatures. Okay. Then here we got Drakes and Dragons. These spells are pretty legendary, pretty cool. Here we got Glorybringer, Harbinger of the Hunt. More very cool spells here also on these other 2 pages. We've got Dragon Lord Ojutai, Palladiumors, Bone Dragon up there, or Dragon Brood Mother. Up here we got Dracoseph, Maw of Flames. These cards are absolutely dope, they're amazing. Very powerful, very legendary dragons. Here we got demons on these 2 pages here. Just demon creatures. Then here we got specters. Thief of Sanity right here. I purchased this card for €1.50. Remember that pretty vividly. This card was pretty expensive to purchase. Then here we got zombies. And we also have a pretty substantial collection of zombie creatures. You see here we got these 2 pages full of zombies, and we got more here also on these other 2 pages. We got 4 pages, 6 pages full of zombies, 8 pages. It's a lot of zombies, certainly. All right, then here we got a bunch of spirits. These are the final spells that we got in this binder. Spirit creatures and fairies. On this page we got some fairy creatures also, and ninjas right here at the end of the binder. So this is my first part of my collection. This was the white binder. You see there are some empty slots that I'm going to fill up in the future with more cards, with my future editions. And this was just the white binder, okay? Let's now check out the blue binder. So here we got the second binder, the blue binder. This binder is stuffed with powerful instants, sorceries, enchantments. I like to call it the blue spellbook because it really feels like a real wizard's spellbook. Let's now check out the powerful spells that we got in this second binder. We start here with some enchantment sagas. I'm a big sucker for these cards. I'm a big fan of enchantment sagas. This is my favorite card type in Magic the Gathering. These cards are super cool. When you play them, these cards bring a story to the battlefield. There's a saga that unfolds right there on the battlefield as you play your game of Magic the Gathering. Every new round there's a new chapter, a new effect takes place and changes the game with new rules, with new effects. These cards are really cool, really like them. They're pretty epic. Really like this card here. Then here on these other pages here, we got other special cards. You see all the cards that I placed here on these initial pages, they all form part of the same set, pretty much. Like here we got 5 Omen cards for the 5 different colors in Magic the Gathering. And these cards, they all come from the same expansion, Theros Beyond Death. Then we got more special cards here, all the Umbra spells here on the left, you see, for the different animals. We got the Mammoth Umbra, the Snake Umbra. My favorite one is this card right here. This is Boar Umbra, pretty massive Umbra right there. Very nice effect. This card is really good. And then here we got quest cards, which are also very epic, just like Enchantment Sagas. I really like these cards. Then we got Genju enchantments right there. And here we got the first black spells. Here I organized the cards in this binder based on the color. With the exception here of the first cards that you saw at the beginning of this collection that I placed right there because they all form part of the same sets basically. Here we are going to see the cards of the same colors, grouped together. So first we got black spells. And you see all the spells that I've placed here, they all have the same effect. These cards can be used to make the opponent discard cards from their hand. And we got here the cheapest spells that you can cast for just 1 black mana. And then we've got the spells that are a little bit more expensive, a little bit more powerful, like Go Blank right here. This is a personal favorite, very cool card from Strixhaven. Then here we got more black spells. I put them all together regardless of whether they are instants, sorceries or enchantments. I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to have the same cards, the same color, on the same page, cards that have the same effect. Here for example we got all the spells that you can use when you're playing black to bring cards back from the graveyard to the battlefield to your hand. And we got more spells here also on this other page. Here we got all the black spells that you can use to destroy creatures on the battlefield. And you see we got quite a choice here when it comes down to destruction. This is a personal favorite. This is Call to the Grave, a very cool card with a very nice artwork. Then here we got cards that drain the opponent's life. These cards instead deal damage to the opponent's creatures. These cards let you draw cards from the top of your library. So use these cards to replenish your hand if you're playing black. These cards are powerful instants and enchantments that increase the power and toughness of the creatures that you got out on the battlefield. We actually have more of these spells when we play white. Check out these cards here, for example. These are all very powerful instants and enchantments that you can use to make your creatures more powerful or to give them special abilities. With these cards you can give your creatures like Lifelink, Vigilance, First Strike, very cool abilities. We got a very large number of abilities and skills that you can give to your creatures in Magic the Gathering. You need to learn all of them. That's going to take time. And these cards, for example, are very cool. These cards are protection cards. With these cards, you can give your creature protection from a color of your choice. When you give your card protection from a color, then pretty much you're making that card like indestructible. That card is not going to be affected by spells of the color that you have chosen. This card here, Sejiri Shelter, is one of my favorite cards in the game. Really like this card. This is a spell. It's an instant spell, but it's also a land, you see. Very cool card. Here we got some very popular enchantment auras. We got Pacifism right there, Luminous Bonds. These are also very nice cards. We got 3 copies of Fate's Feathers right here. This is also a very popular card. I really like that card. And then here we got cards that tap the opponent's creatures. That is also another neat thing that you can do when you're playing white. These spells instead destroy or exile creatures from the battlefield. We got more cards here. I was actually pretty surprised to learn that these 5 cards have like the same effect and the same casting cost. These cards here pretty much are the same card, but just with different names. This is Banishing Light, one of my favorite cards because of the art. The artwork here on this card is absolutely stunning. This is Ring of Oblivion. We got 2 different versions of the same card here. And this is Borrowed Time. These 5 cards have got the same effect and the same casting cost. I was really surprised to discover that. Okay, then here we got board wipes on this page. These cards are really powerful. They cost a lot to cast, but they've got a very powerful effect that pretty much destroys everything on the battlefield. With these cards, you can just wipe out all the creatures, all the permanents that are placed on the battlefield, on both sides of the field. So you have to be careful when you play those spells, because those spells are really powerful. Okay, then here we got other interesting spells. These ones, you can use them, for example, to restore your life. This is Providence, a very nice spell. This is a very powerful sorcery. Just check it out because this card is absolutely insane. Up here we got Cigars of Splendor, another insane card with an insane effect. I'm certain that this card is going to get banned sooner or later because the effect of this card is just too powerful. Here we got white spells that deal damage to the opponent's creatures. We got 3 copies of Outflank right there and a foil right there in the middle. Very nice card. And finally we come to the green spells. Check them out. Up here we got 3 copies of Prey Upon. And then we got more spells here on these other pages. Here we got Rabid Bite, very common sorcery. Okay, then here we got instants, enchantments like Giant Growth that you can use to increase the power and toughness of your green creatures, or like whatever color of creatures you got out there on the battlefield. Green is really a good choice if you want to get powerful creatures out there on the battlefield and all you want to care about is just summoning huge creatures on the battlefield that are super strong, super powerful. With these spells you can make those creatures even more powerful. Okay, here we got more spells. Then here we got a bunch of spells that destroy a target creature or an enchantment or an artifact. And then here few more spells that allow us to draw more cards from the library or to search for land cards and place them on our in our play area. This is also something that you can do with green spells. When you're playing green, like up here we got Mulch. With this card you can just pretty much get a lot of land cards from your library to your hand so that you'll be able to place them down into your play area. But that is something that you can do with green. You can ramp up very fast, very easy with these spells and get a lot of mana out there on the battlefield. Then here we got red spells. Red spells are super powerful when it comes down to dealing damage to the opponent or the opponent's creatures. Here we got the first spells. These are the cheapest ones. These spells here just deal like 2 damage tops to the opponent's creatures or to the opponent. What's really cool about these spells is that you can deal damage to the creatures controlled by the opponent, or you can deal that damage directly to the opponent's life. And that is something that is really powerful, that is really neat when it comes down to playing red spells, because with these spells, if you play them wisely, you can just win the game just by dealing damage to the opponent directly and dragging their life total down to 0. Up here we got, for example, 3 very powerful red spells. This is my favorite. Devil's Play, very powerful card. It's a sorcery, but it deals a ton of damage to the opponent. Then here we got a bunch of other spells that you can use again to make your creatures more powerful, to increase their power and toughness. Here we got a bunch of other spells. These are all red spells. And then here we come to the blue color. So here we got the blue spells. Blue is famous for the ability to counter the opponent's spells. And here you see we got a bunch of counters. These are all counter spells that you can use to negate pretty much the effect of spells that are cast by the opponent. This is really mean when you're playing blue. If you are a blue player in Magic the Gathering, that means that you're a very mean person, because these spells are really mean, really unfair. Then here we got these other spells that bounce creatures back to the opponent's hand. That is also another cool thing that you can do when you're playing blue. And you see here we got a bunch of other cards. Then we got more spells here. This instead allows you to draw more cards from a library, and a nice thing when you're playing blue is that you never have a fear of running out of cards, because you see with all these spells, just throw a bunch of these cards into your deck and you're always going to have cards to play in your hand. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. This is the Wizard Spellbook from the expansion Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I really like this card. It comes from Dungeons and Dragons. This is the Wizard Spellbook. Basically what we've been looking at until now, this huge spellbook. And here we got the card for that. Really like this card here. Then here we got a few more blue spells. These are powerful enchantment auras that can reduce a creature down to just like a simple frog, like this card here. This is Frogify with a very nice artwork right there. With this card, you can enchant a creature, and that creature becomes just a simple frog with 1 power, 1 toughness, so it's pretty much harmless. Okay, and then at the end here of this blue binder, we've got multicolor spells that add a bit of variety, okay, to your deck. These are also pretty powerful. And these are all the spells that we got in this blue binder, okay? Alright, let me place all these pages back. Alright, nice and easy. Oh, cool. Okay, so this was the blue binder. Let's now continue with more cards, and let's check out one of the plastic binders. Here we got the plastic binder that contains all of my precious artifact spells. Let's check them out. Okay. Artifacts are so cool. I really like them. I really like these cards because you can use these equipment cards on your creatures, and unlike enchantment auras, these cards remain on the battlefield. So if a kept creature dies, then you can use these equipment cards on other creatures. These cards remain on the battlefield. Check out here all the Locket cards. They're so cool. So here I tried to place together cards that are similar, like these 3 creatures down here. I mixed normal artifacts with artifact creatures that didn't really bother me, okay? I tried to place together here all the swords, you see? We got this Valkyrie sword up here. We got more swords on this page. These are all pretty cool. And up here we got shields. And we've got this nice mace down here. Artifact spells are also a good option if you want to draw more cards. For example, here we got these nice books that let you draw cards. I really like this Mysterious Stone, for example, that is double-sided. You can use the effect, and this card turns into this Chilling Chronicle as the book opens up. And every time you activate the effect, you see, you get to draw a card. So I really like these cards here. Because as you see, there's you know, you can interact with these cards, and they bring a lot of value to your game. So you should definitely try and include a couple of artifacts in your, you know, in your decks. Here we got all the monument cards. These are all the different monument artifact creatures that you got in the game for the different combinations of colors, of mana colors in Magic the Gathering. These cards are all pretty cool. Now, I don't remember the names for each statue, but you can find them online if you just search for monuments. Then here I also included wall creatures. I placed these cards here in this artifact binder just because wall creatures just feel like artifact creatures pretty much. And then here on these two pages we've got some very special artifacts. We've got Bag of Holding, a personal favorite, but we also have Mir Superior up here. This card is really rare. And then Conqueror's Galleon right here in the middle. This is a very special artifact, but just like the card we saw before, turns into another card here. You see it's double-sided. This card becomes a legendary land. It's pretty epic. This card tells you of a journey, you see. You set off on this galleon, and then the galleon reaches its destination and it becomes a legendary land. So cool. This card is also really powerful. And this is Luke's Cannon. This card cost me a lot. I think almost €2 to be able to purchase it. That was very expensive. Then you see these final cards in this binder. Here we got the Shapeshifters that I placed here because I really didn't know where else to place these cards. And then we got the Eldrazi that I placed in this binder right at the end of his collection just because these cards are colorless. So just like artifact creatures, they don't have a color. Alright, so this was the artifact binder. You see? Lots of artifacts in my collection. Let's now check out another plastic binder. This is the second plastic binder. This binder contains all of my powerful human soldiers, human warriors, and human wizards. So we got a bunch of human spells in this second binder. Let's take a look at them. We start here with some human soldiers. Here we got the cheapest spells. You see these cards, they all cost just one white mana. Here we got Champion of the Parish. This is a very rare card that cost me a lot of money. This is a very nice spell. Okay, then here we got more human soldiers. They're all pretty cool. I really like these cards. Okay, so these are the last human soldiers that I've got in my collection. We've got Aldrich, Master Tactician, right here. You see, it's a very nice card. It's a beautiful card. And we also have these two very nice legendary creatures right there. So very, very cool. They look absolutely amazing. Then we've got some human warriors. Okay. Here in the middle, I placed these two cards. This is an Enchantment Saga that is linked to this legendary creature. This is the Battle for Bretta card, and this is Maja Bretta Protector. So you see, I placed them next to each other in this binder because they tell pretty much the same story. They come from the same legend, from the same epic battle. And here we also have Greven, another cool card. You see all foil right there and shiny. and this is a very nice commander. Then we got the last cards here in this collection. These are human wizards. We got quite a few spells here. These are the last wizards in this collection. Right here we got Sevine, another beautiful card. And you see here we've got quite a lot of empty pages. And I'm certainly going to fill these pages up in the future with more cards, alright? This was my second plastic binder. Let's now take a look at the third plastic binder that contains the last cards in my collection. This is the third binder. I like to call this binder the Night binder because here we got all my powerful night creatures, as well as a bunch of other creatures like angels and vampires. We're just going to take a look at all these creatures right now in this video. So these are the final spells in my collection, okay? We start here with some knights. These are the night spells with the lowest casting cost. And then we get to some more powerful night creatures. Check out this acclaimed contender. You see I got 3 copies of the same card. These 2 cards are foil. This is just a normal card with no foil layer on it. But check out here this card. You see the light effect right there. The artwork is just stunning. This is a very nice card. This is a beautiful card. Okay, here we got more night creatures. Other knights here on these 2 pages. Okay, then we got angels. Check out Stoic Angel right there, Angelic Overseer down here in the bottom corner. These are really cool. Angels are just very nice. I really like these creatures. Angelic Skirmisher up here. This is a pretty rare card. Alright. And we got more angels. And here we got Radiant Serra Archangel. Really like the pose here. Of this angel sitting on that throne with her wings wide open, holding this sword. It's a pretty majestic pose right there. Very, very cool card, very cool artwork also. Down here we also have 2 very nice foil cards. You see these 2, very nice. This Dawn of Hope. These cards are absolutely terrific. Then we got birds. Here we got a whole flock of birds. See? Quite a bunch of creatures here. Check them out. Okay. And here we got core creatures. Up here we got Aura, Skyclave Hierophant, and this is a Tended Healer from Zendikar. Here we also have the cat token creature that is created by this card. Okay, these are core creatures. Then we got cleric creatures here on this page. And we got more clerics on these 2 pages here. Check out Devout Lightcaster. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. Another personal favorite. I really like the artwork here for this card. I think it's one of the best artworks in the game. This is one of the best looking cards in the whole of Magic the Gathering, in my opinion, okay? I know that is really subjective, but you know, that is my opinion. You know, that's how I feel about that card. And up here, check out these 2 cards are double-sided. You see, they turn into these 2 pretty fierce creatures. And here we got a whole lot of vampires. This card is also double-sided. It is also a foil card. You see the moon right there. That vampire flying through the mist. That vampire turns into a pretty demonic creature that looks quite dreadful. These are all the vampires in my collection. And alongside the vampires, we also have the bats, which are the vampire's best friends, right? Okay, then here we got a bunch of assassin creatures. And also a bunch of rogue creatures. Okay. These are human scouts. check out here the two sisters. This is Alana and Alina. There's a new card in Magic the Gathering that joins these two cards together. But here in this binder for now, we just have them separate in these two different cards. Alana and Alina, the two sisters. Okay. Then here we got Human Artificers on these 2 pages. Human Pirates on this page. We just have 4 pirates in my collection. I would like to have more, but this is what we've got. These are Human Samurais. I'm going to purchase more samurais in the future, especially from the last expansion of Magic the Gathering, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I'm certain that in that expansion there are going to be some very cool samurai creatures that I'm just going to add here to these empty slots here. I'm going to fill them up and I'm going to add those cards to my collection to complete my collection and just, you see here, increase the number of samurais that I've got in this binder. And then right at the end of this binder, we've got some deities. These are god creatures. You see we got Anax right here, Hardened in the Forge. Very cool card. This is Raidane, god of the Worthy. And up here we got Calafe and Renata. These cards are absolutely amazing. Very cool. They're all foil. See there? Very nice cards. And then we got a bunch of empty pages here. Alright, this was the 3rd binder. This was my entire collection of Magic the Gathering. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you think of my collection right in the comments down below this video, okay? Alright, catch you next time. Have a good day. Bye.